and welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we're continuing on with the Tex-Mex theme, and we're doing some refried beans this week. Now this is a basic Tex-Mex dish. We're going to be using pinto beans for this recipe, but other beans can be used for this. You can use black beans or other beans of your choice. But we're definitely going to start this with some pinto beans. So here we go. Our ingredients are some pinto beans that we have soaked overnight. So here you see them. They've been soaked overnight. And we're just going to give that a little rinse. You want to get rid of that murky water. It removes some of the beany smell of the whole thing. So we're just going to give them a nice rinse after they've been soaked, and we're going to add them to our pan. Our pot, I should say, for boiling. So get those in the pot, and then we're going to cover those with water. All the ingredients, of course, are going to be in the description below. And then we're going to put that on a high heat until it boils. And you definitely want them well covered. They are going to soak up a lot of that water. So do cover them until they come to a good, strong boil. And then you're going to want to turn the heat down to somewhere around medium-low. You are still going to want them to be boiling once they're done. But take the lid off, give them a good stir, make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom or anything. And give them another cover. And we're just going to let them boil for a while. And then we're going to drain them. And you want them nice and soft, and you don't want to drain everything. We're going to get our camera a little bit foggy first. You don't want to drain all the liquid out of there. We are going to be cooking this again in a pan, hence the refried portion. And a lot of that liquid is going to go away, but right now that they're nice and soft, we're going to add some salt. Very important, we add the salt here and not before they're boiled. You don't want to add the salt while they're boiling for the first boil, because it will take them forever to soften. Do not salt them while they're boiling. Just salt them and season them when you're ready to start mashing and refrying them. So some salt, some cracked black pepper. Get your potato masher. And this is about the consistency we like to get them to. If you like them a little smoother, you can keep going here. But as you can see, Chef Caleb's going to show you they're a little bit soupy, which is just fine. There's still a lot of liquid in there. That's great. And now we're going to get some bacon grease hot in our pan. If you want to do this vegetarian, it is possible to use other oils and grease. But you do want to make sure it's good and hot. You can see our beans get into the hot grease there, and they're starting to sizzle right away. And we're just going to get all of those mashed beans out of the pot and into the pan. And now is when we're going to adjust our seasoning on them as well. So here we have it all in the pan. We're going to get these nice and hot in there. We're going to get a little bit of more seasoning. So they've been salted already. A little bit of black peppers in there, but we're also going to add some Tabasco sauce. And really, that is up to you how spicy or how acidic you want them, because there's quite a lot of the vinegar flavor. And a little bit of Worcestershire sauce as well. You can see they're very, very hot. We're just going to give it a good stir to make sure that's all well combined. And we're just going to let that get hot. Now this is our non-stick pan, so we don't want to use any metal utensils. And just let those get nice and hot on the bottom. And also a little bit of a brown crust. We just want to sear them a little bit as well. You can see from the top there's going to be almost little steam vents coming through. And that means that on the bottom they are drying out a little bit. A lot of that moisture has gone out of them already. And you can see little crispy, little seared bits on the bottom there. That's just about perfect. That's just about exactly where we want it. So these are done. So what we're going to do now just to finish this off, is we have a small casserole or a large ramekin, and we're just going to get our beans in there. So a lot of the moisture has gone out of those. You can see they're quite a bit drier. They are nice and toasty. They're hot all the way through. But what is Tex-Mex without a little bit of cheese? So we have just some regular yellow cheddar here. We're just going to put that on top. You don't have to go all out fancy with the cheese for a classic Tex-Mex dish like this. Now this cheddar actually turned out to be a little greasier than we were hoping. It didn't really get nice and brown on top or crispy, but it did melt very, very well. So there we go. Get all of our cheese on top of there. And that's going to go right under the broiler. And there you have it. Once that cheese is all melted, and if you have a cheese that gets nice and brown on top, once it's nice and brown on top, you're done. That's it. Put this with tortilla chips, or like we did last week with the fajitas, you can add this to a fajita or a burrito or anything like that. It's a delicious addition to any of those sort of dishes. It's classic Tex-Mex. Really easy to do, very, very few ingredients. And that's it. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any other recipe ideas that you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.